Okay, that's enough of that. And welcome to the Raccoons. Raconteurs News. What date are we? The 3rd of the 2nd, 2023. Now, good evening, everyone. Hiya 462904, Mascara, JJ, and Stephen. Good evening, all. Here on my own, of course, again, for another round of this end of the week wrap up on all the bullshit going on in the world. That was a little piece of software that I've been working on over the last over the last year, basically. It's very, very interesting. If you're into sound synthesis and stuff like that, if you like to learn, man, if you like to learn about voltages and triggers and gates and all that crazy stuff, and all about oscillators and about how to create sound, it's a brilliant piece of software. I have to say, and it's 100% free. That particular version that I was working on there is something called Cardinal. And it's kind of like a revamped version of VCV Rack, which is available for Windows, I believe. Actually, I didn't realize this until the other day that VCV Rack is also available for Linux, and I didn't know that. So, anyway, I'm working on Cardinal, which is the open source, which VCV Rack done, they've been making some great software, and for them to actually release that open source to the open source community, I think it's very, very commendable. It's a very, very big thing to do. And the interesting thing about that piece of software is that it's all based on actual hardware that you can get, you can build these things yourself. I'm going to be putting out some videos very soon because I'm getting comfortable with the software. Get a MOOC, Jimmy, and some LSD, and you'll be there for days. Well, I know where you're coming from, Stephen. It's like these analog systems are really they're fascinating. They're fascinating. If you understand how a analog system works, you can actually build your own quite easily, like with just simple oscillators and LFOs and filters and things like that, and a few bits and pieces. And hi, Paula. So what I'm finding, like the reason I went down, because I've been thinking about building an analog synth for, a virtual analog synthesizer for years. I've been thinking about it, but I didn't know where to start. So the beauty about the piece of software is that it allows you to explore all the modules and sort of like try to figure out how it works and whether you'd actually be able to make it work. I have to say, I've worked on this, not constantly, but I've been at it for about the guts of a year, and I'm only really getting sort of like used to it now. I'm starting to learn a few basic modules and learning how they work and learning the basics of modulation and learning how the voices work and FM voices and just so much to take in, and that's before you ever get near triggers and gates, and then you got logic as well, because like mathematics is a big part of like sound synthesis, believe it or not, and just simple logic functions. So I haven't even gone there yet myself. That's a whole other rabbit hole to be delved into, but yeah, it's a beautiful piece of software I'm working with. VCV Rack. If you're into sound synthesis, it's there. It's downloaded. There's a free version. You can mess around with it and see if sound synthesis is actually something you'd like to explore. Because I've found personally, it's kind of like it opens up a whole new universe, especially for someone like me who I know enough about audio and music, just enough to be dangerous, right? And know nothing at all. But thankfully, technology is so amazing that like you don't even need to know how to hit a correct note. You can just add a module to your workflow and say something like a quantizer, and it'll actually it'll hit the right note for you. All you got to do is get close. Like beautiful. Carl said, "Hi, Carl. Cork Radius." Yeah, there's I'm just getting into this analog world. I've been sort of I was blown away by a dude called Colin Benders there back a couple of years ago. Started finding his stuff online, and he had these crazy. I was looking at them. What the fuck is this shit, man? Like, all you see was like a whole big rack of buttons and knobs and lights, and it looked like a bloody Starship Enterprise, really. That's what it looked like. It says, what the hell is going on here? And then you got cables everywhere. It's like a massive cables, and all you see is cables everywhere, crisscrossing each other. It says, how do you make any sense of this crap? But after a while, you actually do start to learn to make a little bit of sense of it. I guess it's like everything. If you just spend a little bit of time just doing a bit of research and trying to figure out what's going on, you can pick it up. Like, so I'm finding that I do actually have some music ability, even though it's very latent. It's like it's not great. Like, I could play the guitar. Yeah, I could, like, just not very well. I could sing, like, but you'd have to shoot me, like, if you heard me, and just I'm that bad really at it. But thankfully, Steve Turgoose makes up for all my failings, like, so I can actually listen to Steve. Steve is quite good. And although some of those high notes can be a bit questionable at times, I do sometimes he hits notes and I do cringe a little bit, like, oh, are you sure you should be doing that to your vocal cords? It's like, holy crap. If I tried that, I'd be dead, I'd probably get a blood clot or a fucking stroke or something if I tried to reach some of the notes Steve is trying to reach. But, fair play to him. Like, I'd love to be able to do that, And I couldn't sing to save my life. I couldn't even sing to save my mother's life. And I'd try. I'd try, like, but the poor dear, she'd be dependent on the wrong dude if she was depending on my singing voice now to save her. Hi, Chris and Mascara. Soul South. Hi, Soul South. So, anyway, we have a Doom night on board tonight, as usual. A week is not a week unless you got a good old Doom roundup, and that's just the way it goes. Like, so I've been having a bit of a rant there about VCV rack, like, for anybody who's just joining in right now, and sound synthesis, which is it's a great hobby. I'm getting hours and hours of fun out of sound synthesis. Yeah, JJ, how you, JJ? Yeah, bit of Doom, and I'll tell you what, there's never any shortage of Doom. I remember years and years ago, if you wanted a bit of Doom, man, you had to go to places like Godlike Productions or Above Top Secret. And these days, all you got to do is just tune into the MSN and or listen to a couple of politicians, man. They've taken over. They've got a monopoly on the Doom now these days. Do you know what? The best Doom is coming from the MSN and politics these days. It's like the best Doom ever. For anybody who's got like a proclivity for a bit of Doom, like myself, like, you don't go to conspiracy sites anymore. Just tune into MSN and you'll get, you'll get your daily serving of Doom, and the best, like, it really is the best Doom, like, like, we're talking about Holocaust level Doom, it's like, can't beat it, like, can't beat the MSN anymore. It's like, in fact, I'm giving up on the alt media. I'm just help the alt media, like, they're you kind of know what to expect with the alt media now these days. They're pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Everybody's like got their own slant on whatever particular topic or story they're looking into. At least with the MSN, you get some proper Doom. It's like, end of the world type stuff. Whether it's the earth is stopping spinning, or the moon is about to fall over the edge of the earth. And oh, sorry, did we forget to tell you the earth is flat, people? Did you not hear? Science has now proved that the earth is flat. So anyway, and the moon is about to fall over, and we're all fucked. Yeah, we're about, I'm 13 minutes in now, so I can safely use a few F words. It's like, so, any crack with your soul? How has your week been? Say Spanish. It is flat, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I know it's flat, man. It's like, although the only flat bit is between me and the nearest shop, or the only unflat bit is between me and the nearest shop. So, I just don't get a proper sense of how flat it really is. So, I do, like, but it's definitely flat. At least the parts that aren't round are flat anyway. That's it. Or the parts that aren't jagged are flat as well too. So, so what's been going on with your world this last few days, or since the last day? I decided to come on and talk shite for a couple of hours on this platform, which was last Tuesday, of course, with the Wonderful Dr. Robert. That was actually quite good. Actually, I enjoyed having that chat with Dr. Roberts. That was fun. And so, what's been going on in your world? Paul is saying, Jimmy, join the Doom band. We sing similar dolphins and chalk on a blackboard. We sing similar dolphins and chalk on a blackboard. Yeah, I guess we do. Yeah, I guess we do. At the end of the day, like we was watching that comet. I was trying to watch for that comet coming in, which usually they're the harbingers, but I didn't get a decent look at it. Like so we've had so much cloud cover here, but I did see some great photographs of it. Like can't remember the name of the comet. It's there in the sky still. If you want to grab a look at it, if the skies are clear, it's tracking a path. It's drawing a straight line between the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, or Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, depending on what you call them. It's a straight line through. Yeah, maybe I'll see if I can. Maybe if I see if I can find the path of it, and we can show it just in case, like because you might get a chance to see it. So, but I didn't get a chance to see it just yet. So, because obviously, like here in Ireland, like we just got constant cloud cover, so it's just it's terrible. Like if you're a budding amateur astronomer like myself, like you just don't have a hope. But I can't remember where. There we go. There's the Sky Live. God, I'm still trying to learn how to use this software, and sometimes it just doesn't play ball. Well, I'll see if I can find out how to get the path of it. Yeah. So we're in the browser, and so visibility right now. C 2022 E3 is above the horizon from Greenwich. Kingdom is visible in the northwest direction at an altitude of 77 degrees above the horizon. Given its current magnitude, it's barely visible to the naked eye. Easily visible with the help of a small binocular. So that's not too bad. It's not often that you get a chance to see with a small binocular. Some of these comets, like I brought a special set of binoculars for comet spotting, like they're 50 by 100s, but you can't hold them like with your hand, basically. But if you do, but even with a small binocular, like you will need, in my opinion, you would need to have it supported somehow, because any shaking at all, and it'll ruin your experience. So, like even with a small binocular, you do have to have a to have an idea of how to mount the bloody thing. So even if you just rested on a book somehow, or rested on something, so that the binoculars aren't shaking about. I'm not sure if this is going to make any sense to me. This is its current. That's the. I think that's Ursa Major up there. So it's kind of, is that somewhere? Map showing. Oh yeah, it's in Camelopardalis. Camelopardalis. I'm not familiar with that particular constellation, Camelopardalis. So obviously it's moving down fairly quickly. Where is this? This is the current distance. I think we've moved on from there. It's fairly close. It's at its closest point right now. And this is the magnitude. It's coming in at a magnitude 8.35, which is a lot dimmer than what was expected, really. Like it was predicted to reach a magnitude 6 point something or other. So it's only making 8 point. So yeah, that's why And the way these magnitudes work, like, so the lower the number of magnitude, the easier it is to actually see. You think it would work the other way around, but the lower the magnitude number, so it's, if it was a 6, yeah, it probably would be a lot easier to see, but because it's a magnitude 8, it's a little bit more difficult to see. So Camulopardis, and it's not a constellation I'm familiar with, like, but if the cloud ever lives here in Ireland, I might actually get a chance to get out and have a look at it. Um, so that's where the comet is, and you know what? For all the harbingers of doom that was predicted with the passage of this particular comet, we do seem to have survived somehow. For some reason, we seem to survive, and the doom is off on the comet front. But fear not, fear not. There's plenty of doom going on Earth as well. So look, we have loads of doom for you. So like the comet was a big fail. So, but look, they always are. They always are. Jason would say hi, guys. He would. He would, and we'd be listening to his regrets for about a half an hour, and we'd miss a whole pile of topics. Like, but anyway, hi guys. I don't know. I never used to be bothered by the hi guys thing. Never used to be bothered, but um, I had to follow John Bartholomew. Right, he's an international master, chess master. And he's really starting to bug me big time. Every video, I watch all his old videos. He does lots of videos on strategy and fighting against the clock and climbing rating ladders. But every video, it's like, "Hi guys." It's like, I'm fucking gonna kill him. I'm gonna fucking kill him. Hey, you Jay. I think that's Jay anyway. Unless it's Dr. Robert in the background trolling. I don't know. We'll assume it's Jay. Actually, I've been enjoying that. Jay has actually posted a few really good pictures on the old Russian platform Telegram, of the beautiful place he is. It's absolutely amazing, I have to say. I've been a little bit jealous, like, because even in the middle of summer here in Ireland, it's very rare you get a chance to swim outdoors. It's like it's usually fucking freezing most of the time. So, but Jay has been swimming outdoors in the open waters, and it's like, wow. Like, would love to be able to do that. Would love to be able to do that. So I have found myself a little bit jealous, but you know, the summer is coming, and you know what? Might get a chance to swim outdoors at some stage. So, Carol, yeah, Carol McLeod, you got a clear night there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, Camille Pardis, if you get a chance to look at it, like, there's so amazing shots of that comet. Like, apparently, it's developed three tails. Like, so s- two tails is not unusual, and three tails is like, yeah, it's a lot more rare. A lot more rare. So, and it's kind of like green blue. So it's says to be quite spectacular. Like, but you know, it doesn't sound like it's going to be easy to spot unless you got some visual aids. Like, I'm not talking about Fauci aids. But just, I mean, like binoculars. Sorry, it's best to be clear. Don't be talking about AIDS. It's like things are bad enough as it is. Sounds like Chase impersonating Rob impersonating Chase. Yeah, indeed, Spanish. You just don't know what to expect here. Sometimes there's that many fucking chancers, man. You just don't fucking know. It's always best to err on the side of caution. Camelopardus was an old name for a giraffe. I'll take your word for that. take your word for that, mascara. So anyway, listen, what's been going on in the stupid world out there? It's been crazy. Like it's all balloon talk. It's all balloons at the moment. Like the big. I was trying to actually up. uh, I don't know what you seen like when you got the notification on YouTube, like, but I had a thumbnail of a balloon with a platform on it, basically, and then when I went to check that the show was displaying okay on YouTube, it wasn't showing the thumbnail. So I don't know if you guys were able to see the thumbnail, but it was an actual image of the Chinese balubas, right? And but it wasn't shown on the thumbnail for some reason. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe YouTube spotted that it may have been an infringement of copyright or something and didn't and wouldn't display it. I don't know. It's hard to make this platform out sometimes. So, but yeah, this balloon is taking up all the goddamn headlines. It's like it's nuts, man. The conspiracy theorists are having a field day. The MSN are having a fucking field day. The alt media are having a field day. They're all talking about even the preppers. The preppers are having a field day with it as well too. You know, for anything from like it's a chemical weapons platforms, and you know, I was hoping that we were going to get some good old alien stuff. I thought the aliens were going to land, but what do we get? A fucking balloon, a fucking Chinese balloon, man. You know. And this happens all the time, you know. This is not the first time Chinese balloons. And like the Americans have a shit pile of balloons up there, but you don't normally see them, right? You never normally see them because they're up so high, like they're up stratospheric level. I'm not sure what's going on with this Chinese balloon because it's down around it's down around at the level where uh, jet refuelers are, which is maybe it was about 40, 50, 60,000 feet, maybe, which is unusual level for them. Like, you know, they're normally up a hell of a lot higher. You normally wouldn't get a chance to see them like so. So I'm thinking like, oh, so James, cheers. So you got to see the balloon. Well, for some reason it wasn't showing up on mine. You know, maybe maybe YouTube have it in for me. I don't know. I have been particularly vocal a few times lately, like trolling fucking cunts on. I've been trolling on fucking YouTube lately, so maybe they're fucking with my head. I don't know, but yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about fucking balloons, man. Big balloons, Chinese balloons, and it's down quite low for one of these balloons. So I'm wondering, is it suffering from a malfunction or something? And it's a bit off course. It's possible. I'd say that's probably more likely. You know, I'd say that's probably more likely. There was a statement released earlier on by the Chinese that they're looking into it, and I'm pretty sure like it wasn't meant to be. If it was meant to be going over to the US, it was like, you know, they'd rather not to be seen. I mean, like I was thinking, like, you know, everybody was fucking wondering, oh, they're fucking looking at the Minuteman missiles, you know, and that's the big thing was the Minuteman missiles because it was over Montana, you know, which of course is where Minuteman missiles is. So the Chinese are spying. I was just thinking to myself as the reports are coming in, it says, what's wrong with these Chinese, man? Can they not just use satellites like everybody else, you know? It's like, or really, are they that backward? You know, are they really like Stone Age? Maybe the rumors are true that they're all really Stone Age after all, and that they have no high technology at all. You know, because I thought we'd moved on from balloons. You know. Anyway, it's fucking nuts, man. You know, it's like I was some of the reports that were going on, which was fucking crazy. Like, you know, it's just like, you know, there was calls for people to be fired and sacked because they weren't doing their jobs. Like, why wasn't this spotted? Why wasn't this balloon spotted? I think people should be fucking fired, you know? And why isn't there military shooting it down? And it was like, so I was trying to think to myself, I says, well, if I were like Alexander 'on the Duran, for example, and I was doing a report on why the military weren't shooting the balloon down. It would probably go something like this. Well, thanks for joining my show. And today, my report is on the Chinese balubas. And there are calls going out for the military to shoot the balloon out of the sky. But the reports that we're getting are dismal, and apparently the Americans have run out of missiles. Yes, they've sent all their missiles to Ukraine, so unfortunately they have nothing left to fire at this rogue projectile. Anyway, it's been reported from the Ministry of Defense in America that they do have projectiles, like they have plenty of vibrating dildos in stock, but they can't use them because, our military personnel depend very much on these vibrating dildos to keep morale up among the troops. So their use is out of the question. So, and that is my report for today. And that's the way to go on at Duran, a bunch of fucking idiots, man. Swear to God, I've lost patience with the cunts. Anyway, so all this crazy stuff about fucking balloons, man, it's like it's an interesting distraction. I'll put it that way. It's a very, very interesting distraction from all the real shit going on in the fucking world. Like fucking balloons. Anyway. But it's an impressive balloon, I have to say. It was a very, very impressive balloon. It was like the size of 3 buses, like, it's pretty substantial, like, and a big platform on it. Like, you've seen some of the close-up images of it. It's got like a platform on it, like, and it's got like panels, and it almost looks like a satellite with loads of sensing devices. What I've been hearing anyway is that, like, from what I've been hearing, it's like the Americans have been jamming it anyway. So whatever's going over, they're able to jam the signal anyway. So they don't have to shoot any of their precious dildos at it. So I think they can be safe in the knowledge that their LGBTQ soldiers won't have to waste their dildos on blowing a thing out of the sky. So anyway. But yeah, it's obviously, I just reckon it's just gone off course. The balloon of doom, yeah, Paula. Yeah, it's a no. Like, it's a no. But it's interesting how it's just, that's the only story you hear everywhere at the moment. It's like this. It's like one story can just get everybody so obsessed, and and it does. It's an interesting distraction from what's going on, I suppose, over in Ukraine, and in part keeps the American people with one eye on China and the other eye on Ukraine, even though people don't want to see what's going on in Ukraine because it kind of looks a bit dire there at the moment. The wind is not off course. It's the wind. Well, I don't know about if the wind is off course or not, Spanish, because this thing is up at the height like where the jet stream is. So, but the jet stream is definitely not been itself for some time. Actually, it'd be interesting just to have a look at the jet streams, just for the crack. I haven't looked at them. I usually pay close attention to the jet streams, and just to keep an eye on what they're doing, like, so Um, let's have a quick look at the jet streams and just see what they're up to lately. In particular over America. This is earth.nullschool.net. This is one of the most interesting programs you could actually add to your repository of interesting tools to use. So to look at the jet streams, we need to look at the 250 HPA heights. So, and then we can see what the jet, like, these are not normal jet streams, right? These really aren't. So I don't know where Montana is, to be honest. But it's obviously somewhere here in America. Look at these jet streams, though. They're crazy. These jet streams are crazy. We used to have like 2 clear jets back in the old days when jet streams were jet streams. We'd have 2 clear jets. You'd have a jet stream which was further north, and then you'd have a kind of like a semi-equatorial jet stream. But to me, it looks like the 2 jet streams have joined into one. You get one big giant jet stream now these days. I'm just scrolling around the world here. We're over Africa at the moment here, and there's our jet stream there in the in the British Isles. I don't know why we call it the British Isles. They could be just the Irish Isles too, you know. But anyway, in the UK, and look at the jet stream, and we're getting nice mild weather at the moment, and you can see clearly the reason for that is because the jet streams kind of loop up and over to the north and sink back down south here. So we're getting a lot of lovely warm air sort of like being pulled up this way towards us when the jet streams are sort of like when the jet streams change sometimes and they come south and that's when we pull in all the northern shit. So that's why we're so mild at the moment, like, you know. But we are getting some cold fronts over in America at the moment. Like, it's nothing serious, like, but you can see because the jet stream, it's hard to make out the jet here in America because it looks like it's kind of split there. So part of it is coming from the. It looks odd, like, you know. So I don't know why they're getting a cold patch in around North Texas and in around that area where you normally wouldn't get like ice and severe cold, like, you know. So not sure what's going on in America, like, you know. But anyway, so there's the jet streams, and so it could be that maybe these dodgy jet streams have caused that balloon to go off course, you know. I mean, it sounds more plausible than a bunch of aliens dragging it into that location and trying to fuck with the heads of everybody. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I suppose that was the biggest story of the last day or two was the balloon, right? The goddamn balloon. Jimmy ain't no weatherman. No, and I'm not Spanish. No, I don't purport to be. I don't purport to be a weatherman, but I do. I'm fascinated by the this actual tool here that we were just looking at is. I mean, like, even just I follow all the storms on this thing, right? I do follow all the storms on it. I'll just go back to it and just show you some of the bits and pieces that you can look at with it. So, first start, like, we were just looking at the jet streams there, and but if we want to look down at the wind currents at the sea surface temperature or the sea surface level, so that'd be your winds, like. So basically, you can track. I do use this for tracking storms and stuff like that, so that I know when the storms are coming, when they'll arrive, and stuff like that. So you can track the wind, you can track the temperature globally. You can also track the relative humidity. which gives you an idea of the humidity of the atmosphere. You got the instantaneous wind power density. You got the 3-hour precipitation accumulation, which is obviously would be the expected rainfall. What else do we have here? Connective available potential energy from the surf. Some of this stuff goes way. Total precipitable water. This would be another one that I would watch. Like, if you were trying to figure out how much water you were likely to get in a particular downfall, I'd be watching the total precipitable water. And also, like, we can't just look. We can also look at the currents, the sea currents, and we can look at the waves, the wave patterns in various different ways. We can also, we should be looking at the ocean. You got different modes here. So you got air, ocean, chemicals, particulates, space, and biological. And sometimes if there's an earthquake going off, right, and I'll look at the chemical compounds that are going on in the atmosphere. And say if I was looking for, so you can look at carbon dioxide here. Where's the carbon monoxide? You got carbon dioxide, SO2SM, sulfur dioxide, SO2SM. That's the one I'd be looking for if I was following a volcano explosion, for example, and I was trying to track where the particles from the volcano were going. You could use this tool here just to follow where the particles are going. And what's this one here? You got nitrogen dioxide. I've never had a reason to follow nitrogen dioxide, to be honest, and particulates as well too. So you're able to follow like all the different particulates, like, so if there's a dust storm, say in the Sahara, you should in theory be able to put the right setting here. What we got here? We got the overlay. We got the dust extinction. We have I don't know what any of these terms are. Particulate matter less than 1 particulate matter less than 2.5 All this stuff. This is scientific bullshit. It goes way over my head, like, But in a pinch, I could just sit down and figure it out. And if you know what you're looking for, you should be able to figure it out. And also, you're able to do sort of like a step forward and backward in time. So if I wanted to sort of predict if we were to look at, say, we got this storm here at the moment over in Greenland, and I wanted to track it over the next, we can't go that far, like, but we've got little buttons here so you can go backwards and forwards. And this is the plus 8-hour button. So like this will move. This will give predictions on an 8-hour scale, show you what the storm will be doing over the next 8 hours and all to that. And you can go about maybe 6 to 7 days out maximum, like that. But that's about the most you can go with any model, really. That's about as far as you can go, really. So I've just moved it back to the now time. So, but anyway, that's the earth.nullschool.net. Like, it's a really fantastic tool. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's my go-to tool for just watching anything: weather, particles, chemicals, the jet streams, the waves, the sea, you name it. And it's very, very educational. And I highly recommend everybody to. I'll chuck that link into the chat there for anybody who does have an interest in these matters. Like, it's well worth checking in with this site. I do it regularly, especially if there's storms coming in. Sometimes I want to know what a storm is going to do. Where's is it time to run to the bunker or shit like that? That's the way my brain works. It's Doom Friday. It's Doom Friday. So that's just the way my head works. Too many years. That's too many years on GLP. And that's I'm blaming that bunch of cunts. Spanish is saying a great indoctrination tool. Yeah, yeah. You can look at things like that too if you want. It's like um, I think technology, personally, I think technology has brought us a lot of good things. And I know there's a lot of bullshit too, right? I think one of the recent stories was how the Earth's core had stopped spinning, right? And what a load of bullshit, right? So we are in a time where you got good science competing with misinformation science, and this goes for all the scientific fields. Like, you got so much fucking bullshit out there, but I like the real time data. Like, I've been following real time data for a long time, like, because we do get excellent data from the satellites and that are traveling above the flat Earth, right? And we get some great data. Obviously, like, when they go over the edge of the flat Earth, like, we're in darkness for a while, like, but usually they manage to find their way back up and crawl back up over the edge and get back on track. But it's quite natural, like, because all the satellites that are up there are obviously, like, they're made before AI, so they're not that intelligent. So it's only natural that they're going to fall over the fall over the edge from time to time. But anyway, we do get some great data from satellites. I've been watching. I've been watching the sun for years. For example, I've always been fascinated by the sun. I really got into watching the imaging coming from the sun back in between 1996 and 2003, and I was having a field day. Hey, you jam noise. Where's Jay? Jay is Dawson. He's just a lazy arse these days. He decided he was just going to fuck off, and he says, "Right, I'm finished with you, and I'm going to go." And he's at a nudist beach somewhere in Lanzarote. And anyway, that's enough information for now. I'm sure he'll fill us all in on the gory details when he gets back. So where was it? Yeah, well, I was talking about the sun. I was talking about the sun. How you doing, Tony? By the way, and Jeffrey. How you, Jeffrey? Hold on. I'll just take a quick before I get back to the sun. Did I miss anybody? Because I have been ranting a bit there. No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. I think I'm caught up with everybody. So, yeah. So I was watching the sun back in 1996, 2003. Well, like, when I really started getting into the doom, right? I was just a normal cunt, right? I was never into doom until I found the internet, and then when the internet arrived, and it opened up all sorts of avenues of exploration. And of course, I got into the doom side of it, and especially space doom. Space doom was my go-to doom of all time. And of course, back in 1996 to 2003, or later, actually. About 2003, when Comet Hale-Bopp was tearing through the solar system, and despite what people think, that comet was actually expected to hit us. It really was. It was on a collision course, but it missed somehow. And there's lots of theories as to why it missed, but I tend to lean towards the theory that does make the most sense, is because of the drag, the tail drag of a comet coming. Because, like, comets are not sort of like orbiting at a set speed, right? It's like a comet will come into the solar system, and then eventually, with time, it will slow down and slow down and slow down until it eventually gets into an equilibrium because it loses momentum. But there are times that they actually speed up though, so it's not all like this comet that's coming through our solar system at the moment. Now it's what's it called? Just so people can find it back. The comet is called C2022E3, and what I've been reading about that comet is that like it's they're saying that it's going to be ejected from the solar system, right? It's just, and I'm thinking, no, fuck off, man. Don't stop filling my head with shit, right? No, it's not going to be ejected from the solar system. It's part of our solar system now. They reckon it was they reckon it came by the last time at the time of the Stone Age, right? This is the story, right? This is the bullshit they fucking week. The last time that it was visible in the sky was at the Stone Age, right? Now I don't know where they found the eyewitness that was able to verify that, like, but anyway, we'll just take them at their word, right? That the last time it visited was at the Stone Age. Now, because of the way that it, like because of the way it works, like there's the exchange of energy. It's like things are constantly losing energy. Things don't gain energy really, like especially comets, like they're constantly losing energy because they're slowing down as they equalize. The idea that they can actually eject themselves out of the solar system, and this is what these scientists are trying to tell people, is that this comet is probably going to be the last time it's ever going to be in our solar system because it's going to eject itself out. It says, no, hold on, it's already been here before. If it was going to eject itself out, it would have done it. If the last time with the Stone Age, it would have ejected itself on the first pass, because that, in my mind, the way I'm thinking about this is, it might have been able to eject itself on the first time through. Maybe, because for some strange reason, as a comet is coming in, it slows down, but as it rounds the sun, the way it sweeps around the sun, you watch footage of comets, like, and speed them up, like, and how they accelerate as they go around the sun. A comet will accelerate, you know. But I'm thinking, if it was going to eject itself out of the sun, it would have done it the last time round, if assuming it was its first time around. But anyway, I'm thinking that they don't have the eyewitness. I'm thinking that they're making the eyewitness up. So I don't think that they have an eyewitness regarding that comet. So I'm calling bullshit that they know for sure it was around at the Stone Age. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they can work its fucking orbit out. I don't know. But anyway, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But to be honest, you know, it's the same with the satellite. They say the satellite that they sent out years and years ago to explore the universe and to explore the solar system, and they said that it's left our solar system way. I don't believe that satellite left our solar system. I really don't, because where is it going to get the escape velocity to escape our solar system? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, you know, to be able to get out of a closed system like our solar system. You're not just going to get out of our solar system just like that. You know, you need escape velocity. And this is a fairly well-known theory, in fact, that you would need to be able to generate enough speed to be able to get outside the solar system. You know, like, I mean, you have to generate enough speed to get outside or even our own atmosphere. You know, if you don't have, what's it? I think it's about 11 kilometers a second or something stupid like that. If you can't achieve that speed, you're not getting out of our atmosphere. Never mind getting out of the solar system. So I don't believe that. I believe that bloody satellite is stuck somewhere out on fucking edges. It can't get any further. That's what I believe. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But anyway. Yeah, I see lots of comments going in there, hoping Jay's having I'm sure he's having a great time. Do you know what? he doesn't have to deal with us mad cunts for the sake at all. I'm sure he's having a great fucking time, man. Cocktails, birds coming up to him and stroking his leg. I could just imagine this, man. Your poor missus must be losing her mind out there, Jay. Now, one eye on you, and one eye on the drinks, so making sure he doesn't get up to anything nefarious. You know well what he'd be like out there, and all those hot Spanish chicks. Or I don't even know if we can call them Spanish chicks. Yeah, Jam Noise. I'm pretty sure he's going to come back with loads of great stories, man. Absolutely. 100%. So you're missing us mad cunts. I doubt it very much, Jay. If I was away for a week, I wouldn't be missing any cunt. But anyway, it is what it is. Steady Jimmy. I'm sure that's the second time you said that to me now this week. Somebody else said Steady Jimmy there recently. I can't remember who it was. Are you sure it wasn't you, Spanish? You got a steady fetish now. I said, I don't do steady. I've only got two modes, on or off. Usually I'm fucking on one. Well, Jam reckons the men out there are cute, so you know, they probably are. But would you still respect them in the morning, though? That's the thing I'd be wondering about. So, anyway, I've done the earth.nullschool.net. I have done the weather. You got your fucking weather forecast here first. Don't forget. But there's been a few stories coming in now the last couple of days. They do deserve to be covered a little bit. And one of the stories that was caught my attention was, and I found it like purely by accident. Let's see if I'll just have to get my show notes back up and. Yeah, we've got a couple of stories from England, in fact, but this one tweaked my interest, and it was all about gas, right? So I'll get it up so that you can actually read along as well. So this was a story coming out from Wales Online, and the headline was British Gas allegedly broke into vulnerable people's homes to force fit prepayment meters. Now, the reason this story caught my attention was, and I was actually on GLP, it was on Godlike Productions, which is a place for fucking crazy people like myself to hang out. And there was a story coming out, what they were talking about was a video of some chap from Scotland who rang into a mainstream media radio station and started on a rant about the injury that he got from a certain particular treatment that he may have received from a dodgy health advisor and provider. And anyway, he got cut off. And she wouldn't let him speak. And she was quite sarcastic after she cut the gentleman off. Well, I'm not going to play the video here because you know what? It's probably enough to get us the boot of YouTube forever. But that's the basis how I came across this story. And she says, now, look, that's all very, very nice story that you told, but it's really not on topic. And our topic today is about British gas. So basically what's been going on with this gas story is Graham Shapps calls for urgent meeting with energy firm after journalist working for the Times spent a month working for Arvato Financial Solutions to provide debt collecting services, right? So British gas debt collectors allegedly broke into the homes of vulnerable customers to force fit prepayment meters an undercover investigation has claimed. Now, the meters may mean that families who run out of credit will have their heating cut off, unlike, of course, customers who are in arrears with their bill payments. And I understand how that works, yeah. The Times showed British Gas its investigation and evidence. The energy firm said it has now suspended the practice of force-fitting prepayment meters and has now launched its own investigation. Actually, I don't know why this does that. I don't know what this is here. This is gobbledygook. But however, Business and Energy Secretary Grant Shapps has called the practice abhorrent, and he is now demanding an urgent meeting with British Gas. But anyway, obviously, British Gas did not get the memo that your gas is free, right? So it's like absolutely nuts, you know? Everybody knows that your gas is free, you know? So I don't know what the story is with these fuckers. Like, somebody should seriously rein them in, like, and just explain to them, like, how things really are, because we all know how it works, But I suppose the fact that they, the fact that they're breaking into people's homes now, that's a bit disturbing, like, So, but it's an interesting case nonetheless, like, of course, none of us here would be surprised the fact that, like, a corporation would hire nefarious individuals to break doors and windows to retrieve or enforce policies or retrieve homes or whatever. Like, it's. Oh, Jason is saying British Gas did it to me using the police. Look on my other channel called South Yorkshire Police Criminal Gang. Yeah, I think I remember. I know, Jay, that you've touched on this a couple of times about what happened to you. Like, and it's like it's obviously been a common practice. But I just wonder why it's coming to light now. It's interesting that it's coming to light now in such a public manner, like, and that it broke out. It broke out on the TV today. But obviously they've suspended the practice for now, anyway. But this could be one that we could talk about when you get back, actually, like after you showed us all your happy snaps and stuff of swimming and and having a jolly good time with all those topless Spanish waitresses, or I don't know how they do it out there in Lanzarote. Huh? But yeah, obviously they just didn't get the memo that your gas is free, and that's disturbing, That is really disturbing. Jerry is saying, sure, the ESB here, which is electric service, ESB, which is the electric service here in Ireland, has been robbing us here, Jimmy. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Although I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's kind of very odd, like, because they seem to be giving away more electricity than I used to pay for. So I'm not sure how this all balances out here in Ireland at the moment. It's like, well, I have to say, like, it breaks my heart to have to go pay for fucking coal these days, Jerry. I swear to God, yesterday for 2 weeks now, 2 weeks coal, man, it's after costing me €150. And I was thinking about yesterday. I says, I used to pay about maybe maximum 30 quid a week during the cold season, right? That's an increase. That's an increase of 1, 2. That's an increase of nearly 400% up on coal products. It's like, what the fuck is going on, right? Now, I €30. That's being generous. Like, I'm overestimating there what I used to pay for. It's probably more than 400% increase in coal products, like, so. But yet, it's funny what the ESB is doing, because like they seem to be. I haven't paid for electricity for the guts of 7 months, because they keep giving free electricity. I don't know what's going on. Is it like a balancing game that they're playing, like on the books? Just we, it's like, okay, we've got to increase the cost of these coal products, like, so maybe we can, if we, because everybody's electricity should be free, we'll give it to them for free for now, and kind of off some sort of offset going on there. I don't know. What's going on with the electricity here in this. I don't know if everybody's getting all these deductions and stuff, and free electric. I don't know. It could be. I think it might be. And there's obviously some crazy bookkeeping jiggery pokery going on, Jerry. So it's fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, I'm just checking through the chat here, just quickly, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because sometimes people are just chatting with each other. So Jerry's saying they've been hiring the prices on domestic to pay for the industry's drop on their price. They've been hiring the prices on domestic to pay for the industry's drop on their price. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Jerry. I mean, like, I tend to agree with what Denny suggests, that like, because of the fact that like that we've got this fucking war to pay for, that like they're increasing the taxes just to pay for the war. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Nothing in life is making any fucking sense at the moment, and whether it comes down to fuel prices, your gas is free, or the cost of coal, or transgender issues at schools. It's like none of it makes any sense to me, to be honest. I feel like I feel like I've landed on an alien planet, and I have to relearn the rules of life again. Oh right, you're paying. No, I'm paying. You're paying for mine, Jerry. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. It's very, very odd. Very, very odd. Yeah. There's so basically there's lots of very, very nefarious bookkeeping exercises going on in the halls of power, Jerry. By the looks of it, that's exactly how I read it. Although I might not be getting my actual facts right, but I do sense that like it's a bookkeeping exercise, and probably part of it is also to destroy certain segments of society and burden them so heavily, like, because I think we also, I was noticing there during the week as well too, the interest rates have risen to something like 4% in England now, and that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on people who are mortgage holders, like, and I don't envy their position at all. Anybody who's in debt of any sorts, like, to be paying 4% now, it's they'll be starting to feel the pinch now, big time. And one of the things I was noticing there, in with Garrett's story about like all these crazy people who were coming to visit him at his home, uh, and that's obviously a landlord who is already in distress, and suffering a pinch, and is probably unable to afford the repayments on the home he thought was going to be earning him an income. So it seems to me that they're going to be trying to squeeze these people out next, and that will probably leave a pile of assets up to be grabbed at some stage, when the pressure gets so high and people have to abandon ship. And it's acid grab, acid grab. Jerry's saying the cheaper rates for industry the past 12 years. The ESB now caught and want to give every household €50. Joking about paying for yours. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just €50, man. It's not. It's much more. It's much more. Um, I don't know what's going on with it. I've been trying to figure it out, and I just can't. Originally, I thought there was something. Originally, I thought there was something fucking wrong because I couldn't figure out why is my lecky gone down. It's just like couldn't figure it out. The fuck. Didn't realize that I was getting credited. Didn't know anything about it until I started getting text messages from Electric Air Ireland, and then they were saying, "Oh, you've been credited." So I assumed everybody in the country was getting it, like So, um, so obviously it's just selective. Cham is saying the main problem with life right now is the internet itself. When you switch it off, life is fucking amazing, guys. No, life is fine, man. Life is actually fine, and it's not necessarily the internet. I don't blame the internet. I still think the internet is a really useful tool. I kind of like gotten used to it over the years. It's not all bad. You know, I wouldn't want to be dependent on the AI bot now for information. But um, I do see where Jason comes from sometimes when he talks about the dead internet, and so much information has been lost over the years. Like a lot of it is dead. The amount of dead links on it. You just wonder how long before it becomes completely irrelevant, and that you will only be able to chat with the AI bot no matter what you're searching for. What you're searching, hopefully, but there are underground internets out there. They still exist. So I could see the underground internet still becoming a thing in the future for anybody who's still interested in real information. I have no doubt that the majority of people will definitely sign up for the easy AI bots to feed them whatever or regurgitate any and all of the latest propaganda. But at the end of the day, I still think down the road that there will be a certain amount of the population, probably the same as we have now, still looking for real information, and we will find ways to bypass that. Whether and I don't even want to speculate where it might go. But I have no doubt the human is very, very resourceful, and where there's a will, there's a way. So underground methods of sharing, who knows? Maybe we go to wireless mesh. Who knows? I don't know where it's going to go, but they will never be able to. They will never be able to stop the signal. That's my bottom line on this. The signal will still get broadcast, and the info will still flow, and it'll still be us. It'll still be us who are just searching the truth, and you'll have the 80% just looking to be fed whatever bullshit is going. So that's the way it is, and Jerry's saying over the past few months they've been giving out 200 automatically to Ho on National Debt. If people are willing to listen to what I have witnessed, they can come to me. Researching people out. I don't know what I'm reading here, to be honest. Sometimes I do get lost in the chat. Sometimes I do find it difficult integrating the chat with my thought flow because sometimes the chat might be on talking about something complete. They're not even talking to me. I do have to keep that in mind, you know. So I do have to be careful about reading every message that that I'm tempted to read in the chat, you know, sometimes, and I have to remember just to be careful about that because I might just end up more confused than I already am. Life has already confused me to fuck as it is, like, you know. Uh, so anyway, I'm thinking about taking a short little break, right? Um, I think what I'll do is I'll put that little thing on from earlier on because I've been because I don't like to play music and stuff like that. I'm going to try and learn how to make a few tunes myself, right? Since that's you know, so I'll put that little piece of software on. I'm assuming that I'm good to go on it. Speed to connect plus right now. It's a little bit crackly, I think. It's a little bit crackly, I think. It's not working just perfectly just yet. But anyway, at least it's not going to leave the channel with dead air, right? Um, so basically, I'll let you watch and listen to the wonderful piece of software called Cardinal, which is the open source version of VCV Rack, which is based on the interesting technology which is known as analog synthesizers, which is full of crazy shit anyway. But at least it'll give me a chance to get a break, and I won't be leaving you with just dead air. So enjoy, and we'll chat to you in a moment. that's enough of that. Now, believe it or not, that's actually totally fucking it's nearly all random. That's nearly all random. It's just there's no reason or logic to that, like, but it's just randomization, basically. Believe it or not. What do you think of that piece of software, people? Do you think that's pretty cool or what? Or all right, Jay. Listen. Good night. Take care, everybody. We'll chat to you next Tuesday. Yeah, Mascara. Yeah. I have a lot to learn about it. I have a lot to learn. Jam, yeah, Jimmy, it's not so good. No, of course it's not great. It's it's the first. I'm only learning how to use the software. Really, it's not great at all. No, of course it's not great. But at least I don't have to go and try to figure out if I'm allowed to play a certain tune or not. Because to be honest, I don't want to be playing any tunes from anyone really. Like, and you know how it goes here on YouTube. It's like, unless it's original, it's pointless trying to fucking play anything. You just get strikes or you get warnings and all this sort of shit. And can't be dealing with it. Can't be dealing with it. So it just I know it's shit, like, but just but I think the fact that it's like, if somebody was very musical and understood music theory, I think you could have great fun with that, and that's why I'm showing it. That's why I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it anytime I get a chance. I'll be giving it a go. Anyway, and I do spend a bit of time on it. Like, I do spend, actually, starting to spend more and more time on it as I learn more about it. Like, and all the different ways of wiring those modules together. Like, it's quite interesting. Very, very fascinating topic. But anyway, we move on from that crap piece of shit, but it did give me a little bit of a break. So what else has been happening in this world? Yeah, I got some more information. More information was coming out about that. We were chatting about there the other night about the 77th Brigade, and we got some more updates about that in the last couple of days, about Britain unlawfully issuing surveillance warrants for nearly 5 years, right? So, because I was there when we were chatting about this, Rob was on the other night. I was trying to figure out, when did they change? When did it all change? Because back in the day, like when I first started learning about how the surveillance state used to operate, like, and back in the day there were laws in place where, like, the British intelligence services were not allowed to spy on British people, and I couldn't figure out when that change happened. So obviously it turns out now that it was 5 years ago. So this is an article coming from Reuters. British spies unlawfully retained people's intercepted data over almost 5 years. The tribunal on Monday, in a ruling that blamed widespread corporate failure at the Domestic Intelligence Agency, MI5, and the Interior Ministry. Right? A corporate failure, right? Widespread corporate failure. So the corporation, right? The Investigatory Powers Tribunal, which did not mention specific cases or intelligence targets in its written judgments, said there have been serious failings in compliance by MI5 from late 2014 to April 2019. So are they saying, so only between those, between 2014 and 2019? Because I remember when me and Sean McGee first started talking about this was back in around 2012. And so the judge here, Andrew Edis, also said the Home Office had failed to make adequate inquiries while approving the bulk surveillance warrants from 2016 until 2019. So we're talking about bulk surveillance warrants. Human rights group Liberty and Privacy International, which brought the legal action, said the ruling showed there had been years of rule breaking by MI5, which was overlooked by the Home Office. The case related to data obtained in bulk under the Investigatory Powers Act and previous legislation which governed the interception of data for national security purposes. The Investigatory Powers Act provides vital tools to protect the public from criminals and terrorism, government and security officials say, but critiques argue it grants police and spies some of the most extensive snooping capabilities in the West. That I have no doubt. On Monday, Home Secretary Suella Braverman said the ruling related to widespread corporate failings between the Home Office and MI5. What sort of failings? The failings that somebody got caught, maybe. In a written statement to Parliament, she added that the tribunal found it was not the case that MI5 should have held the material at all, only that some small part of it had been retained for too long. Right, so this is interesting. This was the part that piqued my. What they're saying here basically is that, like, it wasn't wrong that they had the data or that they'd done the surveillance, but what the problem was that they had held onto the material for too long. It's just it's like word salad. It's like a word salad, right? Um, I mean, as far as I knew, it was totally illegal for the British intelligence services to be doing spying like this on U.S. citizens, and especially in this way. Like we're talking about bulk surveillance, like So, God knows when we're talking about bulk, what are we talking about? The whole population. We could be talking about the whole population for all we know here, and it probably is. It probably is the whole population. Um, we are just not going to know for sure. So, also interesting to note was the tribunal also dismissed Liberty and Privacy International's wider challenge to the effectiveness of safeguards under the Investigatory Powers Act and its predecessor. And I was trying to think about its predecessor, and its predecessor, of course, was um, prior to 2014, which would have been the American Secret Service who were doing the spying on the British citizens for the British intelligence services. So that would be the predecessor. And it also refused to quash any warrants that might have been unlawfully issued or direct MI5 to delete any unlawfully retained data, as it would be very damaging to national security. I know it'd be terrible. But anyway, we just had that little bit more of a release on this matter of the of the 77th Brigade. And so, look, it's going to be business as usual. And, clearly they don't care anymore. They don't care about international law anymore. They don't care about domestic law. It's like it's a free for all out there when it comes to data. There was a good point brought up earlier on, like switch the internet off. Maybe it'd be very, very hard to do. Very, very hard. I'd find it very, very hard to live without the internet. And so, it's a trade-off. They're going to be snooping my data up like left, right, center, everywhere they can. I do try to limit it. Like I stay off social media, for example, as best I can. Like although like it's hard to stay off like the likes of YouTube and Telegram. But anyway, well, as the courts have been saying there, even though the intelligence services have been found to be in breach of law. They're not going to do anything about it. And that's it. And this is the story of our lives here. It's like a total failure of the justice. Forget about it. There's no such thing as justice. There's no such thing as fairness or equity in the modern social contract. It's like, forget about it. Like it's a free for all for the corporations. And it was interesting the way it was pointed out in the article and relating MI5 and MI6 to corporations. That's how they worded it, corporations. And I never quite seen them like that before. I kind of always seen them as sort of like a branch of government or something to that effect. Like I never actually seen them as corporations, but they're telling us it's in our face now. They're corporations. They're for-profit organizations, and your data is fair game. And if you were treated in an unjust fashion, they're very sorry, but kiss their arses, basically. Kiss their fucking arses. Yeah, mascara. Well, we are the enemy, I suppose, in a way. Sometimes I wonder, though. Sometimes I wonder, because there was a case there I was reading earlier on about that chick. What's her name? Hold on, I'll get it up. And it'll be easier just to read the damn thing. And so it's regarding this LGBTQ plus bullshit, and this female swimmer, the 12-time NCCA All-American swimmer Riley Gaines, has spoken out about the reaction to the Ivy League female swimmers expressing concern over the presence of biological males using female locker rooms. So, speaking on Capitol Hill to mark the United States National Girls and Women's in Sport Day, Gaines said that female swimmers had been offered counseling to help them deal with their distress at seeing male ball sacks, well, let's just say genitalia, ball sacks, and had been referred to an LGBTQ education center to educate themselves on the oppression that trans athletes are facing. Okay, so the 5 times SEC champion and record holder who qualified the Olympics twice, and nobody had asked female swimmers like herself how they felt about the situation, saying that she felt that we existed to validate a male's identity. Gaines continued that no one within the NCCA, which is the National Collegiate Athletic Association, was willing to acknowledge the feelings, safety, and privacy concerns faced by female athletes. And she also added that in the last few weeks she had begun to get emotional, saying that it's so wild you can turn around and see a 6'4" biological man pull his ball sack out as you're undressing in the field. And heart goes out to these people. It really does. These women, like, they shouldn't have to be put through this. But when it gets back to the psychological warfare that's going on in the world at the moment, whether it's the MI5 doing the spying, or whether it's whether this push for of the LGBTQ agenda, it's like people are being used as ammunition in a sense, and they've been used in lots of different ways. But one of the ways I'm seeing people being used, and it's just dawning on me, like they may not be weaponizing the technology against us per se just yet. But what they're doing really is they're using the technology to assess our reaction to certain stimuli and trying to gauge what people's responses are. Because, like, obviously, the way I'm starting to see how this technology is being weaponized is that, like, nefarious organizations or governments or corporations can use this technology in such a way to try to warp people's thinking. So if I was to sort of like project it into that girl's sort of world, being a swimmer and putting males into the dressing rooms, it it's it's plausible to me to think that, like, yes, an organization could weaponize a group of males who may be compromised on various different levels, that they'd be susceptible to coercion to go and pretend to be females and to put themselves in certain situations and invade the space of women, for example, and to try to elicit certain emotional responses, right? Elicit these responses, okay? And when these responses are elicited, obviously you're going to get a backlash. You're going to get a backlash from the public at large. So what will probably happen is that there'll be outrage. People will be in agreement with the LGBTQ. You'll get all these different types of responses. You'll get people who won't give a fuck one way or the other. And you will be able to use various tools which are provided maybe mostly by social media, but like obviously they're going to be monitoring all social media, not just social media channels, but also emails, comment sections from newspapers, even Telegram. They'll be monitoring everything, just gathering all the data, gauging the responses, right? So they're trying to assess how much they can emotionally disturb a population. So in a sense, yes, they're weaponizing this technology against us. Like, but I'm thinking like they're just getting ready to weaponize it. At the moment, they're in the assessment stage. We don't know yet who they're going to turn it on, but they're obviously going to. This is going to be the warfare of the future, you know. Obviously, like they don't like bombs and big bad bombs and all that sort of stuff. Is the optics aren't right, you know. So maybe it's better to just weaponize the technology and rather than blow people up, let's fucking blow their brains up. And the cool thing about that is they don't even know it's been done to them, right? Imagine like what's been done. Like, you know, think about it. Think about it. What they've done with the jabs this last 2 years, man. They have fucked people up big time, man. They've totally wrecked their brains. People don't know whether they're coming or going, and it doesn't matter whether you're someone who has or hasn't taken the treatment. Everybody's in the same fucking boat. You got the some of us are on the side that like we're not fucking taking it. We don't give a fuck. Like, but at the same time, you've always got this playing on your mind. The cunts are going to be pushing it. They're going to come put us into fucking camps. They're going to force me fucking wacky as everything. And then you got the other people now. They've signed up for it all in, like, you know, and they're finding out now that holy shit, what do they fucking do to us? It's like, you know, you got this fucking mind fuck going on. Then you got the to and the fro going on, politics, you know, you got tribunals going on, investigations going on, you got crazy fucking releases going on, Pfizer releases, and oh shit, yeah, you know what, yeah, maybe there's something going on with the menstrual cycles, and blah, 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 blah. So, like, everybody's in mind fuck world, and that's what it is. Like, everybody's you know, we're all in the same fucking boat. So in a way it's been weaponized, but what if it's not been really weaponized just yet, and they're only really assessing the technology and getting ready for when they really switch it on? Because I see this war escalating. It's It's clear to me this war is getting out of fucking control right now. Jam is saying, Jimmy, chill out, bro. Light one up. I'm totally chill, Jam. I really am. I'm totally chilled. I'm just sitting back, taking it all in, and there's nothing about this. There's nothing about this that's bothering me. It's everything is as it should be. Nothing is out of place, and clearly times are crazy. Like, but that's okay. Times have always been crazy. So, and I always do like looking at the crazy, more so than the normal, because then it's just look. Normal life is just not quite as exciting. What we got to do? Talk about the weather. I mean, it's lovely and mild here. It's the weather is great. No rain. That's normal talk here in Ireland, and to be honest, it's just not that exciting. But anyway, so but the war definitely is heating up. I don't know what the fuck's going on in Ukraine. It's not good. I'll tell you, it's not good at all. We'll be asking for birth certificates when I start dating. Uh, I don't know. If I was looking for a certificate, I'd be looking for jab status. So, what's your jab status? That'd be mine. I don't care about the birth certificate, right? I trust my eyes, but what's your jab status? But anyway, where was I? Yeah, chatting about Ukraine because I'm running out of time here. And but Ukraine, there's something really bad going on there, and things are escalating in Ukraine big time this last week. Getting reports coming in now that the NATO are going to start supplying the Ukrainians with missiles that are capable of going 150 kilometers. So this is a clear escalation that would put Russia in firing range, and I think Vladimir ain't fucking happy. I think he ain't happy. Fair play, Jam. I would too. I would too. I don't want to be anywhere near job people. I know people disagree with me. I'm not going to mention any names on that. Some people don't believe that the shed shit is real. I'm sorry, but the Pfizer documents would disagree with you. I don't want to be anywhere. I don't mind being. I'll go so close. I'll go so close, but just not that close. And I certainly won't be sleeping with one, and that's for sure. And I'd rather die from natural causes, or a big bada boom from Russia. I prefer a big bada boom from Russia than to go there, than to go out with the Fauci juice taken in directly from an unfortunate sexual experience with somebody I met at the pub. It's like, oh, fuck, what a way to go. No, big bada boom any day of the week. But yeah, they're escalating this thing in Ukraine big time, and America are not going to leave. They're not going to leave. They're digging in. NATO are digging in. They're not leaving Ukraine, and Vladimir is going to go. He's going to go nuts now. I think that's what's going to happen. And he was threatening Germany there yesterday, and I have to say, I can't disagree in particular on what anything he's saying. What he was telling the Russian people. He says, yet again we have German tanks bearing down on our country. It's an interesting point. Now, I don't know. I don't rule out that Vladimir has even instigated all this. Who knows? I don't know. It's hard to know with international espionage. Sometimes you just have to sort of sit back and just think, I don't trust any ye cunts. Maybe it was NATO's fault. Maybe it was Russia's fault. Who knows? Maybe it's Israel's fault. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? All we can do is just sit back and enjoy the show, basically. But I'll tell you what, this thing is just about ready to escalate. Because over the last week or two, they've been erecting missile defense systems around Moscow. There was a lot of talk at the time. Why the fuck are they putting these things up in Moscow? And clearly they had information at the time. This week it's only been announced that, of course, that NATO are supplying Ukraine with these missiles, which are long-range missiles, which is one of Russia's red lines. This is their red line, and they're threatening Germany, and they're saying what Putin said yesterday was very, very interesting. He says, "We're not going to send tanks to Germany. We have other ways of dealing with you," and that's a direct threat. That's. I think I'd be starting, if I were the German foreign minister, I would be taking him very, very seriously right now. Up till now, I've been very, very nonchalant about this whole business, and it was I didn't see it escalating too bad. I just thought, like, okay, NATO are going to keep goading them and slow them down and make them slowly take eastern Ukraine and give it to them grudgingly, and that'd be it. Like, but no. This is going to get. This could go kinetic. Actually, I didn't see this coming, but actually, it's starting to look like it might go kinetic now, and so it should be interesting. It's actually very, very interesting. It's a little bit of drama and something new and different, but at the same time, this is looking like it might get fucking serious. Who knows? Who knows? I was looking at that case. God, let me see. I'll get it up on the screen. It was an awful case, terrible case, and you know what? I've become very, very hard. This is regarding the walkie. It's let me see if I can get it up here. I think I'm kind of half organized here. Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Yeah, this one here. Argentinian woman. Yamil Guevara from Mendoza, Argentina, expressed her outrage against the you-know-what after the unexpected death of her daughter. The daughter's name was Yasmina Antonia Guevara, 8-year-old girl, died on the 11th of January due to vasculitis, which is an inflammation of the blood vessels, which she developed after receiving her 100% safe and effective treatment. So her mother went on to say, "I hope that everyone can take a minute of their time. She is my daughter, Yasmina Antonella Guevara. She passed away on blah, blah, blah." And she posted this on her Facebook account, right? She went on to say her daughter was a healthy girl. She was never sick with anything apart from the famous you-know-what, effective treatment. My daughter started with problems with body aches and things, and that she had never had. She was the first patient in Argentina with what was supposedly called vasculitis, and the doctors did not know how to treat her. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, because doctors don't seem to be able to treat very fucking much at all. I could go into this big time on a few different topics which are not related to COOF, but I'm not going to go there for the now because I'll just get fucking angry. So anyway, here's this mother, right? And I'm just thinking, well, I was reading that story there and it says, what the fuck is wrong with people, man? Here we are. We're in 2023. And There's people out there who still don't fucking know. I mean, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, why are mothers signing their children up for medical experiments? Have they not figured this shit out yet? Are they really that fucking thick? Um, I mean, I don't get it. I really don't fucking. I have sympathy for the little girl, and I'm sorry the woman lost her fucking daughter. But I'm sorry. But look, if you're a fucking parent, it's your responsibility to stop and fucking think about what you're doing. You don't sign them up for medical experimentation. Look, that should be a fucking no-brainer. Should be a no-brainer. And then she's jumping on fucking Facebook and the fucking sympathy card. And now she wants to fucking wake people up. And that's fucking little useful girl now, who's now a martyr. I tell you what, stuff like this pisses me off, man. It pisses me off no fucking end. Now here we are, like we're third year into this fucking shit, man, and there's people out there that still have not fucking figured this shit out, man. And this is what we're up against, man. Um, uh, Sorry, the majority of our species are thick as fuck. And you know what? I've, I don't have sympathy anymore. I can't. I don't have that. I don't have that sympathy anymore. I did have, like, back early on when I thought there was people had a chance of sort of like figuring this out, because like I'm a thick cunt. I really am a thick fucking cunt at the best of times, but and it takes me time to figure shit out, like, but I thought by now, and of all people, parents, you know, but these people are just so fucking trusting. I don't know whether they're trusting or just fucking lazy, man. But anyway, I spotted the conversation going on there, and about the walkies. It just brought to mind that particular story, and I remember reading it earlier on. It was just pissing me off, man. It was just, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? What is wrong with these parents, man? By all means, go and take part in the medical experiment yourself. Go fucking knock yourself out. Have a great time. Send me a postcard when you fucking get to the afterlife. And great. But, like, just, when it comes to your children, man, at least have a modicum of fucking intellectual prowess. Do try to fucking think, man, what you're doing, man. I mean, is there any? Does anybody? Am I mad here, peeps? Is it just me, or is it just me that fucking? And I'm losing the plot over this shit, or is anybody else see this shit the same way? I don't know. I don't have any sympathy for these people anymore. I've lost that, and there's times I go through, when I read a story like that, and I go through a moment of mourning, but then when I read the details, and then I go on to read about how they're fucking taking the fucking Facebook to fucking highlight the issues. And I got banned from Facebook for sharing a video. So, when did you find the fucking video? When did you do your fucking research? Did you do your research before or after you killed your child? Is it? Well, I just found out. Fucking thick cunts, man. Thick cunts. There was a picture of she's a lovely little girl, man. Lovely little girl, but anyway, she is no more. Wonderful parents. Wonderful. I don't have any sympathy anymore. Sympathy is gone in me, and maybe it's not a good thing. I don't know. But we're at war. We're at war, peeps, and got to be a bit hard, and there's going to be casualties, I suppose, and it's just a pity it has to be this way. It's a pity it has to be this fucking way. Well, at least people are dancing in the chat. I want to rant about fucking death and doom. But anyway, we're approaching the end of the show. So look, I'm going to be calling it quits for tonight. I know it's been a bit long, fucking winded. And so Jason will be back next Tuesday. If all goes well, he gets back safely, and if he doesn't elope with some female out there in Lanzarote, which you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, Jay will be back next week, I'm pretty sure. Don't forget to tune into Cookie and Pete on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm not sure about Dr. Robert. I don't know if Dr. Robert is doing a show next Wednesday or not. I didn't hear anything about it anyway, so maybe. And then, of course, it'll be the same time next week, next Friday week. Of course, everybody knows. Friday week again, same time, same place. And also, I think I'll put the link in for the chat. If anybody wants to join in the after chat, I'll put the link in, and you're welcome to join. I mightn't stay that long, Feeling a bit tired today, actually, and but I'll be in for a while, and depending on how the chat is too. So join in if you want. And you're very welcome. And so, and I think on that note, that's enough depressing shit now. That last story now is after fucking winding me up. I should have covered all the negative stuff at the start and left the funny stuff till the end. And because I did have a good news story. Yeah, the good news story I had was that there's a case going on here in Ireland at the moment around the masking issue. Some lassie was she was getting hassle at work and was unlawfully dismissed and stuff like that from her work, and it seems like she's going to win her court case about the masking and stuff. Like she had her employer wouldn't accept the exemption, and so she's brought them through a court case through the work relations committee or whatever they're called. And the only thing I'm sorry about is that she's only going to get like 10 grand. To be honest, I think any company that would do that sort of shit should be robbed, fleeced, shut down the fuck. Although that wouldn't be good for any other people. But I think they should. Like 10 grand, not enough, man. 100,000. Go on. Give her the kitchen sink. But anyway, so on that note, oh shit, I'm gone over time. Oh no, I'm not. I've still got. I don't want to go over the 2-hour mark. Can't go over the 2-hour mark because of compatibility issues on Odyssey when it comes to transferring audios over. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I wish you have a good weekend. Enjoy. Keep your eye out for Chinese balloons, and if you see them, take a few pot shots at them. See if you can bring them down, and rob them for all the rare earth minerals and stuff that might be on them. I mean, you wouldn't know. Bit of recycling, and tell you what, I'd shoot them down. So listen, take care. Have a great one. We'll chat to you next week.